Most of us despise the thought of updating passwords because it has become such a hassle to remember all the different variables that go into each one. Some require 10 characters while others 15. Some require upper and lowercase letters. Others require numbers and symbols. Some require all of the above, but then won't allow certain characters like maybe the $sign or the %sign. So we fall into these habits of creating passwords that follow some kind of pattern, or maybe reuse the same password for every single account we create, possibly even starting to write them down for future reference. Because let's face it, it's impossible to remember them all without some sort of help. So let's discuss these 3 unsecured practices and how we can avoid them. First is using a pattern style password. Many people try to get creative with their patterns, maybe using the current season plus the year, or possibly following a sequence of keys on the keyboard. The problem being, many people have thought of this before, so these patterns actually become very predictable. Instead of using a password pattern, try using a passphrase. Passphrases have become very popular. Not only are they extremely easy to remember, but they can be incredibly difficult for hackers to crack. A passphrase is simply creating a phrase that you can easily remember, then making small minor adjustments to that phrase to accommodate all the password requirements. For example, let's say your favorite meal is a delicious steak and potato. You can easily take steak and potato, change the S to a $sign, swap out the word and for ampersand, change a couple of the O's to zeros, and then capitalize the P in potato. And then you can quickly have a 12-character passphrase with special characters, lower and uppercase letters, and numbers. Now let's move on to that second unsecured practice, which is reusing the same password over and over. This is a dangerous practice because one account getting compromised will essentially give the hacker the keys to all of your other accounts. People begin to think, so you want me to create a new password for every account? The short answer is yes, at least within reason. Remembering all those passphrases may be difficult, but that really just leads into our third practice, which is don't write down your passphrases. I know this seems like an easy solution, and that you think writing your passphrase down on a post-it note and hiding it under a keyboard or inside a cabinet drawer is keeping it safe. Or maybe you go one step further and put them in your phone notes app. The problem is these practices have become very common and cyber criminals know to look there. So the best option is to download a password manager on your phone. There are many options there like Keeper, Bitwarden, and LastPass, and some are even free. Store all your passphrases in this manager app, and then you only have to remember one passphrase, which is the one that gets you into that app. Often these password managers will also allow you to use facial recognition or some other type of authentication, making them even more secure. Which actually leads to my last point, which is whenever possible, implement some form of multi-factor authentication. Many times, this is as simple as having the account text the phone on file with a randomized number that has to be inputted into the system. This extra step may seem like a hassle, but it's just one additional layer of protection that could really save you from being the next victim of a cyber attack.